What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to curse so bad, but I'm just going to say, holy crap. Arc Raiders has gone above and beyond pretty much all of my expectations. Again, I watched so much footage when Arc Raiders came out in their tech test. I was literally obsessed. I was addicted to watching it. But now that I finally get hands-on and I get to witness what this game is all about, hear the sounds for myself while playing, and, just witnessing everything that's going on, let me tell you guys something. This game is literally going to be an overall masterpiece. Also, just so you guys know, when it comes to me creating Arc Raiders content, just like my other videos, I'm not going to have any sound in the background. And I'll probably edit up the clips when it comes to these, gameplays, because they're like 20 plus minutes long each, you know what I'm saying? And the action is kind of scattered throughout, so I'll probably edit them together a bit better. But I just wanted to showcase to you all a full match here, because it was a quick one, it was kind of like an in and out raid, very fast. It's one of my beginning raids when I was going in with the free loadout, just trying to understand the controls, understand how everything is going down here, and I just wanted to showcase the full bit, so you all can see and hear, exactly what, the experience is from beginning to end, even at its shortest. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this game has completely blown me away with every single aspect, whether it comes down to the gunplay, the atmosphere, the sound, the actual customization of the overall game itself, going in and doing quests, finding, things to trade, how the actual inventory system works, loot. I mean, guys, seriously, the list can go on and on and on. But in today's video, these are just my first initial impressions. I'm going to put in a lot of hours throughout this weekend. So again, if you guys are interested in this type of content, subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here. And also, if you guys want to catch me live stream this game, I'm going to be streaming it all weekend long. So you guys can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as I was saying, I came into this experience honestly expecting it. And I shouldn't say this either, because I saw, again, other streamers playing it. I watched it a ton, and I noticed how difficult it was, but hopping into it, feeling how smooth the controls were and how fluent the gunplay is, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be too shabby. This will probably be a walk in the park. My first raid, I load up, and I instantly get demolished by Ark. Not even any of the bigger robots, just very simplistic stuff here, and I'm just getting completely mopped. And as I stated, I'm not used to that. When I play extraction shooters, I'm so used to the AI, being just a simple little one tap to the head, move on with your day. Not even close. Like, you really do have to be cautious every single step that you take within this game. And I'm going to be real with you guys, I really do appreciate that, because a lot of these other extraction shooters gets to a point where you just start running and charging absolutely everything. You don't really have to worry about anything or anyone in the lobby. All the AI is stupidly simplistic. You know the spawns of all the AI. You know exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to react. And it just becomes kind of muscle memory to just, adapt and overcome. And you don't have that threat level anymore. And it just basically goes down to PvP only. You know what I'm saying? PvE isn't even a factor anymore. And a lot of the time when you get that good, PvP isn't even that much of a problem. It just throws the extraction shooter vibes off a little bit. But here in Arc Raiders, when it comes down to the AI that we're versing, Arc, they are ridiculous. And you do not want to mess around with them whatsoever. And I even feel like as you progress throughout the game and get better equipment and better gear, you're still going to want to pick your fights very wisely, because you don't want to waste a bunch of ammo or a bunch of resources, health, and then have a bunch of other players come in on top of you and take you out as well. It's like you have to really think and strategize around what you're going to do in this world, in this environment, and I love that. And the third-person aspect also plays a huge role within the extraction shooter genre now. I was a little skeptical at first, and I thought it was going to be strange because, third-person peeking, angles, all that stuff can kind of be obnoxious, especially when you're playing a game mode that is one life, and once you die, you lose everything that you came in with or even found. So, typically, third-person isn't really accepted in stuff like this. But I'm surprised how well it works for an extraction shooter and how it adds to the vibes of survival, Again, when it comes to FPS, and I'm an FPS fan as well, you guys got to keep this in mind. I love first-person shooters. But when it comes down to first-person shooters, you can ego people a lot better, especially if you have better map knowledge, the situation that you're in. You can get very aggressive and, kind of just dominate lobbies, even when it comes to extraction shooters. But here, you want to be cautious. People can be holding, angles, sitting around a wall waiting for you, sitting in a corner, so on and so forth. All of these are possibilities. So it makes you a bit extra cautious. And also with how the weapons work and the health works, you have plenty of time to go ahead and react. It's not a lot of instant engagements, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be real. As skeptical as everybody is about third person in this game, I think it serves extraction shooters, this genre, very, very well. And don't even get me started on how Embark absolutely nailed the core of what an extraction shooter is all about. Yeah, they went ahead and branched out and did unique things all across this game, which again, I'll discuss in future videos and go into more details as I get more playtime. But when it comes to the addicting factor of an extraction shooter, the storytelling, it has nailed everything. Absolutely everything. Like this match, for example, it's coming to an end. But it started off with me basically coming up on a zone while I was trying to loot, and it was already scavenged. So clearly I knew someone was there. So it turned from me going and trying to search buildings and find loot to stalking the prey because they already got the loot on them. So I'm looking around trying to find that individual, dipping and weaving throughout certain locations, find him, track him down, hear the car sound. You guys already know all the details. You watched it. Take him down. And then while I'm moving forward, someone called in the elevator to go back down and extract from the overall world. Which means, yes, people are going to be there. And as I said before, my mentality went from, wanting to loot areas to killing individuals because I knew I was coming in behind others, so I needed to get the loot from them instead, or I'll just be scavenging a bunch of empty stuff. So obviously my goal right now is to take down as many people as possible. It is what it is. That's just, the whole point of extraction shooters. Sometimes you go in with different goals. Sometimes you don't want to take down people. Sometimes you do. In this instance, I want to take the loot from them. And obviously, I'm starting to see all the enemies, the action is taking place. And it gets down to the very final moment where I'm going to try to knock out this individual and take his loot. But, I'm swarmed by too many arc robots. So now, my whole strategy is shifting. I go from wanting to kill this individual to now it's like, okay, it's no point. We might as well just try to extract and both of us can get out of here. Sadly, since I was being a bit greedy, I shot him too many times and he bled out. But the point being made here is that your story is constantly shifting. You can go into a raid with, one set of plans. And all it takes is a handful of robots or, a handful of players to change up everything, all of your plans that you have made and make you act differently. Like I said, I went in not wanting PvP. I just wanted to scavenge. Then I noticed everything has been scavenged. So that means, I'm kind of switching up to a PvP mode. I got to take it back from them because I need stuff before I leave. And then in the final instances, since I'm getting bombarded by so many arc robots and, it's getting bad, I'm probably going to die myself. I don't want to kill anymore. It's like, okay, at this point, let's just try to work together. And as I stated, yeah, he died. But again, that is what extraction shooters are all about. You never know what is going to happen. And a lot of extraction shooters out there, kind of get stale to a lot of players because of that exact reason. People get to a point where they know exactly what to expect. And the story has already been written. And, they memorize the story. They know what's going to be said already. And that's when extraction shooters kind of become stale. That's why wipes are so crucial to a lot of these games, because you got to get everybody to start off fresh so you can get the vibes there again and get everybody, on level 1. Because, again, if you progress too far, everything is just kind of too simplistic. Whereas in Arc Raiders here, I got to be honest, every single moment is feeling so stupidly unique. And like I said, things switch up so fast because they just simply can. You never know when crap is about to hit the fan. And all of your plans are going to have to completely shift, and you got to change, tasks to make it out alive. It's just, man, the experience it's really freaking good, ladies and gentlemen. Embark has gone above and beyond, and they have truly impressed me in ways that I didn't think were possible. And I want to make this very clear. This isn't like, going to scratch that FPS itch for you. It's not. If you're craving something like COD, Battlefield, Halos, Splitgates, Gears of War, stuff like that, this isn't going to scratch that itch. At the end of the day, it is an extraction shooter. But I'll tell you what, it is one of the most unique extraction shooters I've seen in a long time, and it's very casual friendly. Because the hardest part about a lot of these extraction shooters is getting into them, feeling like you can thrive in the economy. And it's rough for a lot of casuals to keep up. Whereas in Arc Raiders, no matter what, even when it comes down to, you dying, you are still going to be leveling up and getting through your progression tree and unlocking new things to make you a better, person in world. Like I said, the possibilities are endless. And I think that this is going to be a true hit for a lot of players out there and for the extraction genre, because I've still been waiting to see this genre truly pop off and get the recognition that like BRs get, where every single game is trying to copy a BR because of how huge it is. I'm waiting for, the extraction shooters to really come in and, kind of take over a bit, because it'll be a nice shakeup. And I feel like the meaningfulness of extraction shooters is a bit better than BRs, because BRs used to have that meaningfulness, you know? Back in the day where you died, you couldn't play the rest of the match, you actually felt that life, and it was real, and it's like, you know, if you die, again, either your friends have to back out, or, you know, it was so much better back then compared to what it is now, where you just constantly respond and get back into the action all the time. You're not really scared for anything. This, this is going to bring it forward. It's going to make you feel those emotions again, but it's also going to be casual enough that newcomers can hop in and give it a true chance without feeling way too overwhelmed. And just very quickly here, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little off, you know, track. I'll get back on track soon, but I went to the system and I saw that it has an in proximity thing. And I could have sworn I heard someone, but I couldn't really put my finger on it during the specific segment here. And I looked at the system and it said in proximity, and it kind of made me think, maybe that does mean something. And lo and behold, there was literally an enemy right around the corner. Is this real? If so, this is very overpowered. And I might have to go ahead and make a video about this. Maybe see if it gets tuned. I don't know if it's real or not, though. It might just be a coincidence. I'm going to be testing it out all day long, though, to see if it's actually true or not. When, you know, someone is in the building with you, if it actually showcases, if you just go to the system. That would be absolutely insane. You can basically cheat any building to see if someone's lurking around the corner. I don't know. Let me know if you guys think that would even be a good system in general. But what I really wanted to say before I got sidetracked is, ladies and gentlemen, the best part about this game is the performance. I fully expected nothing but problems getting into this, you know, Arc Raiders server stress test. And it was so freaking smooth. Got right into the action. The performance is absolutely outstanding. The graphics are completely stunning. Everything runs flawlessly. No hitches, no issues, no problems. I mean, bro, Embark. I'm telling you, man, don't mess with Embark. The same with the finals. You see all that destruction? Do you see what's going on in that game? And it's still so finely optimized. I promise you, they are optimization wizards. They truly are. I have never seen a team so on top of it when it comes to performance with every game they put out. I'm blown away. Seriously, if you think that you're not going to be able to run this game, try out this test and just see. Just see. Because, holy cow, it runs like a dream. But ladies and gentlemen, as I stated, these are just my first initial impressions. You know, I need to dive deeper into this game so I can come up with some really good video topics for you guys. I'll be looking on Reddit to see what you guys are chatting about, and hopefully we can see a lot more Arc Raiders on this channel, because I have been genuinely enjoying the experience. And, you know, when I was watching it previously in the tech test and I couldn't play it myself, it was outstanding. I got hooked. Now that I can actually play it, boy, oh boy. I mean, the hooks are in deep, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. We'll see how long it lasts, but this is a very fun extraction shooter. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and the second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, I have a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.